As I walk up these steps, some dust shakes off my foot picks up some more dust, and I keep walking up the steps, right? So I was thinking it was time for me to just start making up some new shit, just to make up some new shit. I was like, okay, what if all the planets in our solar system on a flat plane, basically, because they are the same goddamn thing. They're just Jupiter is a long fucking way that way, right? And the reason you use a rocket ship because there's no friction in space, right? But then you'll be like, well, why do we cycle through the seasons? Why would you go in a loop? And I was thinking like, well, my body is divided, my something captivating something else, and as I move with my one side, it drops off pieces and picks up pieces, and drops off pieces and picks up pieces, but it's all strung together by what's on the other side that ain't basically invisible. So what if we collectively as a world, right? Whatever we are, a little bird in the sky came down, invested in the sand, right, and we just started rolling along, right? The sand would just recollect, right? The sand will recollect as we go. We're stringing along the story we telling ourselves is basically this noise in our head, and then what happens? We hit an ice wall or something like that. Why do we keep circling back? Yeah, there's some kind of ridge around it. So there's some kind of something between us. But basically, we're just rolling through. And because there's a gate there, we just hit it, we just roll, and you pick up a new body as you go through each step. This step, new earth. This step, new day. This step. As it cycles, you just collecting the body as you go. The earth is part of us collectively the same way my flesh is part of my mind. You know what I'm saying? So the earth is part of is the second half of it. So, but my body refreshes, right? My mind has a story it tells itself, but my body, when you through the difference of my past, based off how my body refreshes, based off my body refreshes, how we keep record of the winters. It was colder, it was snowing higher this year than last year. We're gonna think about that and count it and put it in record. Same way my mind will notice the difference. Oh, I picked up something new on my body that's different than what I had yesterday, right? It's just more evidence that we're rolling along in its dualistic nature too, right? Double dragon, right? So why wouldn't you just keep going that way and roll into Jupiter and roll? But we kind of are spilling out and cooling down, aren't we? We kind of are spilling out and cooling down, aren't we? So we know why we get an orbit. We know why Jupiter be a long way. That we know why it be mostly flat because it's like a thing that's cooling as it goes out. And here you have Mercury, which is the most hot part of the record, the vinyl record. Then you got Venus, which is a more soupy part of the vinyl record. Then you got Earth, which is more decent part of the vinyl record. But it's a flat record, and we just rolling along, picking up new material as we go. When you spin along this part, you can only collect this type of material. Why haven't you gone further than that? I don't know. There's some kind of wall there that's preventing us from going to Mars. There's a wall there that's preventing us from going to Mars. We ain't got cool enough yet, right? But think about it. Why would the spotlight move? The spotlight is us, our body, right? That's just gonna refresh, just like I pick up a new body every 7 years, right? The question now is, how come we ain't made it to Jupiter yet? Maybe we have, and maybe we just ain't got there yet. How fast is time relative? How long is a billion years and the thing? And then I was thinking, well, maybe maybe they show the planets as different sizes. Like, yeah, well, if that spotlight thing is right, well, how come the planets is different sizes? Maybe that's expressing like because within a certain volume, you're gonna get a certain you're gonna get a certain density or some shit like that, right? And per density per volume, by the time you get over to Jupiter space, since it's cooler and more spread out, it's gonna take this much of this shit to balance that much of that shit. But if you was to consecrate the circles to the same size, same spotlight, then you would say Jupiter is way more dense. But it's not. It's just way more bigger. You know what I'm saying? So you represent it bigger. But see, the reason why you see a sphere is more so just like, okay, this is a spotlight. How we gonna represent what we are? Ain't nobody who can see themselves without a mirror. Who can see themselves without a mirror? Somebody gotta be up there, and then you gotta communicate at the same time. It ain't gonna never work, right? I ain't gonna say that, but you get what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? The fact that we represent our planet as a sphere is almost just like, okay, how you want to put how you want to display the lips nails? Are you want to put them on nails? You want to put a little dot on the paper? How you want to represent it? Oh, we're just gonna use circles because it's like a spotlight, like a porthole into this environment right here. This is how much the energy is cooled by the time it reaches this part. And there's a ring though. Why is there a lane? Why is there a lane? We just ain't made it cool enough yet. And we're a property of the earth. By the time the earth cools down, we're whatever we are is a symbiote merged with the dirt of the earth. We're merged with whatever this flavor is right here, and we're rolling along until it cools down. because we're anchored to it. We're anchored to this flavor, this cool, this temperature. So we roll along, anchored to it until it's cooled down, and we go to Mars, then we go to Jupiter, then we go blah 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? But it's like the fact that they represent the planets with a circle. I don't think that even really means anything other than how else you want to sample it. How else are we gonna explain it? Like how you gonna explain something that's unexplainable? We just gonna whatever it comes right. And why is this one bigger than that one? Because this is a bigger space, and if you condense it, you're gonna get this and blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? It's the way the numbers fix together. So it's like we just gonna represent this with a bigger circle, but it's really just a sample of the terrain, what it looks like when you get that far. By the time you get here, this is the terrain gonna look like. It's a little sample of the terrain, just like I give you a sample of some nail polish. And here is the terrain gonna look like by the time you get here, right? And then also we want you to know the density of the terrain is different, right? So we gonna represent that, but the size of it. Or you say grab whatever the fuck is different. It's different, so we just gonna make it bigger to represent that part of it. Because you can't even explain it with words, because words don't mean nothing. We just want to say at this point it's right here and it's concentrated. At this point it's right here and it's concentrated. Why are we using a circle to set? Why you can use a square or a triangle? Because a circle don't communicate. Maybe it's the most pure white form of communication, right? White light form of communication. You know what I'm saying? Like the model of the solar system just explains the model of the solar system is just like us. It's symbol. It's not literal. It's not necessarily literal. Like exactly that. That's just a way to explain it. Like a way to grab. Like a graph ain't exactly what it looks like to speed up, right? You know what I'm saying? Like I thought the roller coaster rolls down, not up into the right. I thought that doesn't look exactly what it represents. You know what I'm saying? So it's the same thing with the planets and solar system. You just do it with dots and squares over here, and over here I just use circles and bigger circles, and these project. And why else are they lined up on the same terrain going to this? And remember, we always talk sideways anyway, so it's like read between the lines, right? And what's the difference? What's the ice wall? Yeah, time is the ice wall. It ain't cooled off. We're anchored to this dirt part for some reason. For some reason, this is the part we're anchored to. It ain't got cool enough to be in Mars yet.